Hi, I'm Troy from Studio 33 Guitar. Thanks for watching. And today we're looking at how to play Lonely by Justin Bieber. This is a brand new song from Justin. It's starting to get really popular. It's a very nice sounding song. His vocals sound incredible on it. And it's a fairly simple song to play. There's only a few chords that you'll need to know. Now the original song has just piano or a synth. There's no acoustic guitar, but I've adapted it here so that we can play it on the guitar. I'll show you the chords that you need to know and a couple of strumming patterns that will help you to sound like the original. In order to play this song in the original key, you will need to have a capo for your guitar. If you don't have a capo, you can still play this song with these same chord shapes. They'll just sound a little bit lower than the original. But if you want to play along to the original version, you will need to have a capo. If you don't have one, you can order one on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below to the one that I use. And as always, you can get a free PDF chord chart of this song to follow along from my website, studio33guitar.com. I'll put a link in the description for that as well. But for now, let's zoom in on the neck and have a look at how to play Lonely by Justin Bieber. So as I mentioned, you will need a capo for this song if you want to play it in the original key, so put that capo on the 2nd fret. This is also a really short song. It's fairly simple in its structure. It goes verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then that repeats, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Now, the intro and the verse of the song is going to be just 3 chords, and it's going to sound something like this. So let's take a look at those 3 chords. The first chord that we're going to need is an F chord. Now there's a number of different ways that you can play an F chord. If you want to play that as a full F bar chord, you can do that. What I like to do for this song is play it more like this version. Now this is technically an F major 7 chord because this high E string is ringing open, but I like the sound of it, especially with some of the other chords. As you'll see, that same note will ring out and it kind of gives it a nice open airy sound. So for that chord, it's basically the same as a regular F bar chord, but instead of barring with the index finger, we're going to bring that finger down. So all your fingers here, you're going to need your ring finger on the 3rd fret up from the capo. Your pinky is going to be directly below that. And then your middle finger is going to be on the 2nd fret on the next string down. And then your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string. And so like I said, we're going to leave that open E string to ring, and that's going to give you this sound. Now for that, we're only playing the 5 strings. We're not playing this low E string. In order to get that high E string to ring open, you'll need to make sure that you've got a good curl around to that index finger so that it's not laying on that string and muting it out. Now if you want to, you could use that index finger and actually push down and bar across those 2 notes, and that would give you just a regular F major chord. But like I said, I like to have that open E string. I think it just kind of gives a little bit more of an open, airy sound, which this song really has. But you can decide which one you prefer. The next chord that you're going to need is an E minor chord. Now there's a few different ways you can play E minor as well. And if you've watched some of my other videos, you've seen how I usually recommend playing an E minor. But this is going to be a little bit different this time. So there's 2 things that you could do. These 2 fingers, the ring finger and the pinky finger, are on the right strings right now, but they just need to be 1 fret lower like this. And that would give you an E minor chord. Now that's an easy little change just to slide those down, but it makes it a little bit awkward for the next chord that we're going to play because the capo kind of gets in the way and it's a little bit finicky. So what I would suggest instead is to play those 2 notes using your middle finger and your ring finger like that. So we go from our F chord, we're just going to bring that middle finger up, bring the ring finger around like that. So it's the same 2 notes, but we're just playing it with different fingers. And you'll see why when we get to this next chord. And that next chord is an A minor chord. So all we're going to do now is move the middle finger and ring finger both down 1 string, and we're going to put that index finger back on that same note that we've already had it on for that F chord. And that gives us an A minor chord. The first 2 chords of this sequence, the F and the E minor, are both played for 1 bar. And so that means you're going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to switch to the next chord. For this A minor chord, you're going to be playing for 2 bars, so that's going to be 2 counts of 4. So a really basic strum would just be to strum all down strums on each beat, and that would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it repeats. Now you could do that same strumming pattern throughout the entire song, but the song kind of builds a bit, and so I would suggest that in the beginning you may want to keep it really open and airy, and with that you would just strum maybe 1 time for each bar, so then you would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then as you get to the pre-chorus or the chorus, then you may want to pick it up and start adding more strums in. Now another thing that you can do is add an upstroke at the end of each count of 4. So for this way of strumming, we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, and a. And on that is where we would put the upstroke. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a. 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 And this brings us to the pre-chorus of the song. This is where he sings, "What if you had it all?" The only thing that's going to happen here is we're going to change 1 chord. So instead of playing that E minor chord after that F, we're going to go to a G chord. So I typically will play a G chord like this. If you've watched some of my other videos, you've seen me show it this way. That has your pinky and ring finger both on the 3rd fret on those 2 highest strings, and then your middle finger on the 3rd fret, the lowest string, and then your index finger. So we're going to start with that F chord again. We're playing it the same way, count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to G. 2, 3, 4, and then to that A minor again for 2 bars. And that brings us to the chorus of the song. For this one, we're going to be playing that F chord to G again, and then we're going to go to E minor to F. So that's going to sound like this. Now that first time through, the chorus is very open and airy, so again, you might want to go back to just doing those single strums. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, we go to verse 2, pre-chorus, and then chorus again. So it's the exact same structure as the first time through. So like I mentioned, there's no acoustic guitar in the original version, so the way that you strum it is really going to be up to you. You can play around with a couple of different ways of playing it. If you want to be a little bit more open, or if you want to be a little bit more heavy with it, you can decide what sounds best. If you like this video, I also have Justin Bieber's other most recent song, Holy, as a lesson that you can click on right here. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.